Hello and welcome to Audio Gyan, an Indian podcast for those interested in design, philosophy, and arts. Audio Gyan documents thoughts, ideas, and insights from known and unknown gems of India who have done some remarkable work in their field of interest. Visit audiogyan.com for more Gyan sessions. Today I have Swapna Wagh with us, the founder of Desi Toys. Having worked with big organizations, retail players like Future Group and Shoppers Stop in India for more than 8 years, Swapna Wagh started a unique venture called Desi Toys in the year 2012, which is a specialized retail chain which offers authentic and traditional Indian toys and games. We'll be discussing about her journey and try to understand some basics of toy industry and the process. Thank you, Swapna, for being on the show and giving us your time.
Thank you, Kedar, for having me here.
We'll first start with understanding why are toys so important in a child's life.
Okay, toys are absolutely important in a child's life, according to me, because they foster growth and learning. They aid in the development of a lot of skills, like, language skills, the social skills, the interactive skills, the cognitive skills. So I feel that they also, bring in their imagination alive. So I think that's why it is not just, aid of amusement, but it actually influences a lot of factors of life, a lot of aspects of life. That's why I think toys are absolutely important in the growth of a child.
And then what is the, is there any cultural significance to toys?
Absolutely. In fact, my venture is all about that. Desi Toys, it's about reviving all the traditional Indian toys and games. So here we are talking about just getting the cultural toys and games back for the tech-savvy generation. So I personally feel that if we have to maintain the culture of any ethnic society, you have to pass on the tradition and belief to the new generation. And what we are trying here as through Desi Toys is we are trying to pass on these traditions and beliefs and culture through toys and games. If you see today's generation, they're constantly glued to the gadgets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or they're playing with toys of Western culture like the Barbie or the Hot Wheels. But look at our childhood, it used to be absolute fun. We used to play with games like Gilli Danda, Lagori, spinning tops, and all these toys and games that we had, it had some amount of skill attached to it. Even spinning a simple lattu required a lot of skill. So I feel that, those are the kind of toys the kids should be playing with. Going out in the field, playing with other friends. You see today's generation, they're playing alone. Okay, they're losing out on their social skills. They're so glued to their gadgets that, they're having a lot of health problems at a very, very young age. Eyesight problem, obesity problem. So there are a lot of reasons, and that's why I feel that, we should, try to bring them out of their screen time and give them these awesome traditional toys and games to play with. So definitely cultural toys and games, when it comes to Desi Toys, it has a lot of significance.
So how do you identify, because India is quite diverse in terms of culture and overall ethnic, different backgrounds, right? So how do you identify that this particular toy has been or was used by, say, a Rajasthani guy, and that will have a more cultural impact on their children?
See, more or less, the kind of toys that we've brought into Desi Toys currently, those are the kind of toys which have been used in most of the parts of the country.
Okay.
So having that benefit, what we've done is, here what we do is we also reviving different arts, Indian arts. So be it a Warli art, which is quite famous in Maharashtra, or be it a Madhubani art, a kalamkari art. So every state will have some of the other arts specific to it. Okay, so we've tried to identify the artisans, not only with the toys and games. We've identified those toys and games as well, but then we've also identified these artisans who are able to make these arts, and we've put those arts in our games.
Okay.
So like we have board games. You will have a Sapsidi in Warli. You'll have it in Madhubani, Kalamkari, and recently we've done a series of mythological series in board games.
Wow.
So you'll have a Dashavatar Sapsidi. So it will have 10 stories of Vishnu avatar, and every story will have a moral story to it. So it's a fun way for kids to learn about different values, but at the same time we bringing them close to our culture in some way.
Wow, that's really nice. Yeah. So the idea of this audiogan was to understand like what is the process, because in my early stages of my career also I have like few designers and few jewelry type stuff and toy designers had reached out to me, and I was considering that to be one of the professions which I can get into. So but yeah, like I don't know, it just didn't went that direction. But to understand what is the process of designing a toy, I mean, what kind of brief are you giving to the artisans, and how does that work?
That is very specific to your brand ideology, I would say, because though we are reviving the traditional toys and games, we are also innovating new games. But what we're doing is every toy that we bring in, we design it around Indian design and Indian theme. That's been our core. So we stick to it. So every toy that we bring in, we ensure that, that it has an Indian design to it. Indian theme to it. Like I said, the board games, we have a mythological theme around it. Okay, so whatever new game that we bring in, we have to do a lot of research. So let's say if it's a mythological theme, we'll have to do research on different stories, right? So we cannot go wrong in there. We have to get in different arts. So different characters have to be made in those arts. So that kind of research has to be done.
Okay.
So the brief starts with any designer. We start with what is the theme of the brand first. Okay, once they get that thing right, and then we identify what are the contemporary children needs, what are they playing with. Like lately it was the fidget spinner, which was very much in demand. So we identify that we have an Indian spinner also.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a small wooden part, and there are two strings attached on both the sides. You just have to twist the string,
okay,
and pull it apart. It's fun.
It's like a two-way yo-yo.
Yeah. You keep doing, and it's fun. Earlier people used to use a gold spot cap, put thread inside, and they used to do that. Okay, it was a simple toy, but we just thought that rather than the fidget spinner, which at times even the doctors say that too much use of that fidget spinner is not good for kids. So rather use these traditional toys and games. So what we do is we identify what is the trending thing in kids also.
Okay.
And then we bring in those kind of products in the market.
So there is also, is there an involvement of a psychological aspect? As in, like, do you involve counselors or psychologists who can who intervene in the process to say that this could go out of the line, or this is...
Yes, at times when we have to make age-specific toys, we'll have to consult a psychologist and, the educational people who are good in identify what is good for that kind of, children and that age group of children. But fortunately, apart from the infant toys, most of our toys are ageless toys.
Okay.
So we really don't have to bother whether, the Gilli Danda is meant for a specific age criteria or not. So, but then yes, if we have to make something for below 3 years, we definitely have to ensure that, there are no small parts and the kid is, understanding
the material also is used.
The material
like
also, the colors also, we use all organic colors. So some element of technicality is also involved in it. We also take the inputs of the artisans. Like let's say we have a lacquer made toy or a rattle. So even if my designer makes a design, the way we want it, after all, it's the artisan who is making it. He makes it in a lathe machine. So he will be the final person who will say, okay, this is doable, this is not doable. Though the design looks good and though it fits the,
criteria.
The criteria of what is good for the child, but is it doable? And what's the best way to do it if it's not doable? So we get the inputs from everyone, So that's how...
sorry, like, I don't know whether this will be like again going deeper into the question, but other than the people who decide levels of design, like in game design especially, you have levels, right? So there are certain specialists who understand that after this, the level of difficulty in achieving a particular goal in the next step has to be designed in such a way that the curiosity, the stickiness in the game still remains. So if not that complex, then it's fine. But are there any games that complex?
I think what you're trying to say is for the games which has a series, like, you have a series 1, 2, 3 or level 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
My kind of products, we don't have any kind of levels to it.
Okay.
There's just one toy, one game, and either it would be played by a single person or with more than 2 players. So we really don't have any levels to it. So the kind of complexity that you're talking about, we really don't work too much on that. But as I said that we try to see what is the trend. If we see that there are children who want a particular kind of toy which that entices them, then probably we get that kind of a toy. We will see that what fits into our theme also, and we get that toy. Like I explained you about the fidget spinner.
Yeah.
So or even the Beyblade. In between there was a craze for Beyblade.
Correct.
Now that we say that's the Indian top. It's a version of the Indian top. So even we have a wind up top, and which is much better and which requires some amount of skill. Not the Lattu, but a wind up top, which is similar to the Beyblade.
Which is thrown like this.
You just have to pull the string, and it will start rotating.
Oh, is it? Achha.
Similar to a Beyblade. So we also see what is the trending thing, and then we also try to ensure that they also get hooked on to our Indian traditional toys and games.
Yeah, very nice. So everything is going digital, and then what's the vision of Desi Toys in the next few years, few decades to come, where you're trying to promote Indian toys and all the Indian stuff which is good for this generation? So
I think toys are eternal, and children are going to be children. You give them any toy, they will still love playing with it, till a particular age. But at least you expose them to kind of toys that you want them to play, they will play with it. So my take on that is gadgets will never be able to completely replace the toys. They will probably be at a stage wherein they're in line, in parallel to, the current toys, but they will never be able to completely replace it. Because, the more exposure that kids are having today with gadgets, parents can also see the harmful effects of it. They can also see that, as I said earlier, they're having a lot of health problems at an early age. They're becoming very aggressive. They have vision problem. They have obesity problems, social skill problems. So I think over a period of time, even parents will be informed and they will know, the bad effects of gadgets. So that there I feel then it will be a little controlled exposure of gadgets. There will be gadgets because with times obviously everything is going to get evolved, and so there will be gadgets, but I think they will be slightly controlled.
In fact, a lot of friends of mine generally ask their children to have TV or video game for a specific amount of time.
Absolutely. Now that I have a daughter, I don't give her an iPad at all. I don't give her mobile. I allow her to watch TV because it's at a distance. Okay, but that too limited. So that still helps. And I give her to play all Desi toys, and she loves playing with that. So that's where I was telling that, till a specific age, you expose them to these wonderful toys because these are all skill-based toys. And it's absolutely important for a child to develop skills at the right age. So that's where I think Desi Toys will be able to help today's tech-savvy generation to come out of this screen time.
So in the sense, you'll continue making these, and hopefully people will realize the importance and balance it out.
I mean, I relate it to food. you know. Now food, people are hooked on to having, at least the young generation, to burgers and pizzas. But then after all, they know that, that this is not healthy eating. And how much will they eat that? Your staple food is still going to be at home, and you will probably come back to having staple food.
Yeah.
Right. It's the same, How much are you going to eat junk food and you're going to affect your health?
Yeah.
So after all, you're just going to have roti sabji, dal chawal at home at some point of time back, right?
Sure.
So that's how people are getting healthier. They are running a lot of marathons. If you see, there are so many marathons happening. You see so many people running, walking. And these are going to be the same people who would probably ensure that their children are going to have good habits in future.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to evolve. It's going to change. It's just a wait and watch thing.
Super. Just like, these are few questions which are more understanding Desi Toys and its exposure to Indian market. Like, what are the main toys which are bought by people? Like, any dominant pattern you can see?
No, see, our brand is unique for the fact that they are having all traditional toys and games, which you otherwise don't get to see. And even if you get to see, you probably get to see in rural areas, and that too if not great quality. And considering today's parents, they are ready to spend for their children as long as you give them a nice quality product. So that's where we are coming to. I mean, every toy that we bring in, we ensure that quality is not compromised. So people know that. So even if it comes at a cost, they don't mind paying for it. So the top moving products for us is a spinning top, the lattu that we say, then the steamboat. That used to be a typical Mela wala toy. Yeah. But then that's again one of our hot selling items, not just in our store but also online. Then we also see a trend for a lot of role play toys, like we have these kitchen sets.
Okay.
And Bhatukli. So we have a wooden one. We even have a brass miniature toy set. So it has all these old utensils which probably children will not get to see even now. Like we have a vidi, which is a cutter. And we have a khalbatta, which is probably replaced by a mixer now. Then we have a chula, which is replaced by gas and cylinder. Even cylinder will go.
Pipe gas.
Pipe gas has come. So I think, so, people can see that, these were the old utensils which were being used. So it's good in a way that, at least we are somewhere helpful in ensuring that, the new generation can know what was the past and what is being used
and
now.
Also us making it feel nostalgic about certain things.
Yes, absolutely.
And any particular pattern in terms of distribution in India, or is it predominantly Bombay, online or offline, whatever, like wherever you have stores?
Currently we have a store in Thane. Then we have stores at the airports also. So we have it in Mumbai, Bangalore, Kochi as of now, both in domestic and international.
Okay.
And we see a lot of trend of NRIs and foreigners buying our products.
Oh, interesting.
Because NRIs probably could be the reason that, they have this nostalgic factor that, now that they're not staying in India, probably they want their children to know what kind of toys they used to play as children. So that could be the reason that they want to buy a lot of Indian toys and games.
Nice.
And foreigners, they have an eye for craft, handicrafted products and
good quality products.
Good quality products. So we see a trend of these kind of products doing very well at the airports. And online is catching up. And toys is a category wherein unlike apparels wherein you want to wear and try it out, toys is something that you can you like something, it's an impulse buy probably, and then you can immediately buy. So online is picking up really well.
Oh, nice. Cool. I think this is a good note to end. All the best, Swapna, for your Desi Toys venture, and I hope to have you again on Audio Gyan for like maybe something different, which is
Sure. Thanks.
So that's it from today's Gyan session. Stay tuned for more Gyan on Audio Gyan next week. Till then, bye.